Hello, hello, hello. Ho, should it be? Welcome to welcome to a special Christmas stream with Lawrence and I. Lawrence, I don't know if I told you, mate, but you are already in. I'm not
I'm
bringing you in.
already
You're
on.
already in, yeah.
Oh,
You
okay,
just
nice
sat there
one.
like,
I hope everyone's doing well
Yep.
and is enjoying the
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
jumpers.
We both made the effort today, didn't we? So today, what we're gonna do, guys, we have got some questions from you across various social media platforms about vegans at Christmas. You've asked questions about yourself, some of you. Believe it or not, we've actually got at least 2 questions from meat eaters about vegans at Christmas. I think it was two, right? Yeah, I think it's two. So that's pretty cool, actually. I did ask for that, so that's nice. If you have any questions today that you want us to answer about being vegan at Christmas, what to do, how to be, any difficult questions you want us to have a look into, you can throw them in the live chat. We'll try and get round to them. If you want to guarantee us get into your question, guarantee an answer, shoot us a super chat or a Streamlabs tip. You can get the link right there in the pinned comment, and we'll answer that as a priority, as like literally the next available moment we get. That's how we'll do it today, and I'm quite excited about it. I think we're going to be able to get through some good stuff today, Lawrence. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't want to foreshadow anything, but I feel like we might fall at the first hurdle looking at the first question.
You reckon so? Well, I mean, I want to not dive in just yet. I want to give people a chance to come flooding in. Let's just say hello to the chat first of all. So, Vegan Muscle Outreach in the house. What's up, guys? How's it going? How are your muscles doing? We got Richard Smith. What's up, mate? Vegan Pundit. Hello, DJ Lernal. What is up? We got No Injustice Lasts Forever. It says Lawrence in the house. Love that. Love that. Lawrence is in the house. It's been a while since Lawrence has been here, actually. We do stuff on the second channel. We do our podcast together. But actually, he's not been on the main channel in a while, have you?
I don't even remember when it is because they all blurred together for me.
Right, of course. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, but it was a while ago, I'm pretty sure. Turning Veganese, what's up, mate? You numquat. That's his thing. That's what he says all the time.
Right.
I don't. Lawrence is looking. I wasn't meaning.
Well,
I don't mean that. It's a Christmas stream. It's love and kindness. Right? I'm not really insulting him.
What is a numquat?
I don't know. He made it up, man. It's his word that he made up. That he calls people it on his channel. JP and Julia, what's up? How's it going? Annie's obviously here. Annie Rams. The name's changed recently from Ambience to Annie Rams. Ooh. The Facebook official now. Robin Hoodster and Mag.
I actually remember back in the day when that was a thing.
What, when the Facebook stuff?
Yeah, when I was a teenager, it was like it wasn't. I actually remember people took it really seriously.
Yeah.
Like it actually wasn't official until you were public on Facebook.
Yes, mate. That was you're acting like you're talking about it as if I wouldn't know this. Like you realize I'd been around for a little longer by that point, right? Like I was in my 20s by the time you were just learning that.
Yeah, but that's even more embarrassing. Like I get why teenagers do it.
Oh right.
Because but like 20-year-olds.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird one that we used to do that. I mean, people are obsessed. Social media means too much to people. We've already. Hey guys, if you want to hear more about that, get over to the second channel because that's where we bitch and whine about that. The Vegan Christian's asking when is there a new podcast coming on the second channel? It's going to probably be in the new year at this point. But guys, I don't know if I want to announce this or not. To be honest with you, I'll let me just before I tell you this, let me give you a disclaimer, okay? Don't go over to my second channel unless you're prepared to hear opinions and takes on things that are not about veganism, all right? If you can't handle me having opinions that you might not agree with, not on veganism, like on other topics, don't go to my second channel. You will not enjoy it. If you're somebody who can take alternative opinions and you can disagree but still be friends, you can disagree but still support what I do as an activist, or myself and Lawrence, but you can disagree with us and be okay with that, go over and check it out. I'm saying this because it's important, because the thing I'm about to post there is I recently did a 30-minute comedy set at a comedy night that we put on, a vegan Christmas party that we put on, and it's pretty spicy. I gotta be honest, guys. I say some stuff in that, and it was all a bit of fun and it's all comedy, but yeah, if you can't handle the more controversial stuff, I do not recommend going to the second channel because that is where I'm going to post it. Okay, it's going to be there, and just remember it's comedy. That's all I'm going to say for now. All right, if you decide to go over there and watch it, please don't hate me. Okay, come on. support me for the animal rights or hate me for that, but don't just turn your back on me over jokes. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. All right, because Lawrence knows it definitely went there. It went to some places, guys.
Yeah. The people who are gonna go there are gonna be your hardcore fans and people who like rage porn.
Rage.
Those are the only. Is it rage porn or anger porn?
I don't know. Like people who hate watch, basically. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, hate watch. Yeah.
Right,
But is it hate porn? I can't remember what it's
I don't.
called.
I've never heard of that. But stop saying that word. We've only been streaming for 5 minutes, and YouTube is just going to be like, nah, they're not getting any money from this stream. No monetization today. So yeah. It's basically That's all I'm going to say about it. I don't want to big it up because I really don't want people going over there if they can't take it. So it's really important you don't go over there if you can't take it. All right. Really, really important, guys. I want to have all the love here on the vegan side of things. I don't want you hating me for stuff on the other side. Yeah, come on. All right. Well, I think that's enough of us discussing things unrelated to vegans at Christmas. Now let's talk about vegans at Christmas after 6 minutes of streaming. The people watching on catch up, they're just like, oh god, just skip to the 6th minute before they even answer any questions. All right. Let's start with we don't have to be in this order. But we can start with we can do them in this order. Screw it. The first question is one that we can't really answer, to be honest with you. It's one of the toughest questions we're going to get today about vegans at Christmas, actually. It's really, really tough, really difficult. The question is, what do you put in your tamales? This is by Griff Tricks on Instagram. Now, this is a difficult question for us, Lawrence, because we don't know what the fuck tamales are. What is that? Tamales? Tamales? What is it? What is it? How do you say it? Can somebody explain in the comments, guys? Do you know what this is? Mashed potatoes.
Yeah. So I actually I don't know why it didn't occur to me before, but I actually just Googled it.
What?
What's that? It actually looks pretty nice.
Hold up. What's that? Like, what did you do?
I got open this. It's called a search engine. Bing.
Right. Bing.
Yeah, Bing.
Really?
Does anyone remember Bing?
What is it? What's a search engine? All right, come on. No, Bing is great. I use the Bing app on my phone. It's got ChatGPT 4 for free. You can't beat it, and it can generate images. Did you know this?
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. You can literally open up Bing on your app on your phone, ChatGPT 4, and you can say, "Make me an image of," and then describe anything you want, and it will develop. It will generate it right there and then, free.
How good is it?
It's amazing. It's actually incredible.
Oh,
I showed my mum, and she's been making loads of stuff with it for her dog charity. It's amazing.
Oh, sick.
So what are tamales then, Lawrence? Fill me in.
So it looks like a sort of potato-based pancake or roll or something. Which I haven't looked up a vegan recipe, but it looks to be pretty much vegan anyway. Right. So I'm assuming that's why it's Mexican.
Is it a Mexican Christmas dish?
I don't know, but it's often made by sweet elderly women, is what it says here.
All right, so okay, well I don't know what I'd put in it then. I guess I don't know. I can't answer that question. It's a really bad start.
Well, I think I'd put in tomato, onion, some coriander, bit of lime juice.
Oh,
avocado.
That's not very Christmassy though, is it? Can you have Christmassy tamales?
Red and green.
Can you have Christmassy tamales? Can you have like cranberry, some tofurkey,
cinnamon,
stuff like that? Cinnamon. Yeah, some cinnamon tamales. All right, well, that's good. Let's go off to a good. Okay, let's just move on from that one. Okay, this is a great question. This is something that I'm sure a lot of you are going to be dealing with. I think we'll just go in the order we've got them written down. I think it's going to make sense, unless you spot something nice that you want to get to sooner, Lawrence. And of course, unless one of you guys drops a question with a super chat or a Streamlabs tip, and we'll get right to it, or in the live chat. But the live chat's flying by, so I can't guarantee we'll see it. All right, guys, but we can try. So, what about dealing with twat colleagues at the Christmas do when commenting on your vegan food? This is from R. Gonzalia on Instagram. Wow. Yeah. Dealing with like asshole colleagues at the Christmas do when they're taking the mick out of your food, basically, I suppose is what they're getting at. Now, I don't know, Lawrence, you don't have a Christmas do, right? Or have you ever had this situation?
We had a Christmas meal. I haven't really had that. I get with my team, well, the thing is so the company I work for is quite socially progressive, should we say. It's like super into all that sort of stuff.
Right.
And so it tends to attract people who kind of see, you know, these people who are like, oh yeah, it's veganism, that's good. I'm not going to do it. That sort of person.
Right, right.
You don't really get like anti-vegans,
Okay.
or at least they haven't come up to me.
Cool.
So I've never got anyone being a twat, but I have had a few people make certain like jokes where they think they're I think it's because they're awkward, to be honest, and they make like a little awkward joke
Right.
because they don't know how to handle the situation.
Yep.
And if I've got food around, and usually it is when there's food around because that's when the topic comes up, I offer them some of my food. I'm like, do you want to try it?
Right.
Because usually if I'm having food with them, we're usually at a restaurant or something like that, or there's an occasion. So I'm usually have access to like quite nice vegan food that's made by a chef.
Right.
So I just offer it to them.
Right.
Is usually what I do. And it kind of disarms them because it's like, I mean, in my case, they're not trying to be nasty, but like if someone's trying to be nasty to you and then you just offer them some food, right? It's kind of like, I don't know, it kind of disarms them. They can't really be a dick going forward.
That's fair enough, yeah. I personally would never give them any of my food because it's my food. And if they want it, they can order it. And that's just me, though.
Do you actually get out a picture of Gavin and Stacey from your wallet?
What? Why? Why would it? Well, I don't get
Please.
it. What's the relevance? Sorry, mate. What? That's an all. That's an.
It's like one of the. It's like one of
series.
the. So Gavin, for anyone that doesn't know, Gavin and Stacey is like a series.
Sorry, 1 minute.
Can you
I
hear me?
moved your. Yeah, it's okay. I moved your video by accident. You were just like covering me for some reason. All right, go on. I know Gavin and Stacey is. I don't get. Let's just move on from this reference, okay?
Okay.
Let's not explain the reference. Oh my lord! Look at that. DJ Lernal just tipped $20 and says, "Thank you, David and Annie, for all the work for animal rights. Have a good one. Peace." Bloody hell, you're a legend. Didn't even ask a question. DJ Lernal never asks questions. Just chucks money in and goes, "I love you guys." That is so nice that the way you do that. I really appreciate it. You're an absolute legend. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas too, you hero. Do you have anybody that does that on your channel, Lawrence? They're just really good people who they don't want anything back. They don't ask anything or ask you to do anything. They're just like, "Here, I love what you're doing."
Yeah. Well, yes, but also it's slightly different on mine because I don't announce who's made the donations.
Oh, so you hate your followers then? Okay, I get it. Yeah.
No, most people don't want their like names read out, so I just thought default. I'm just not going to have it pop
YouTube
up
usernames. It's not like they're putting their actual real first and second name, is it? I mean,
yeah, no, I know, but you know, a lot of people don't like their
username,
even people knowing their username. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, my answer to the question about the dealing with twats at Christmas dues. Yeah, I've been there, done that, and the best way I've found to deal with it is when they throw jokes. It's usually jokes. It's not genuine insults. Like they're not genuinely trying to be horrible, even though it feels horrible. They think they're having a bit of fun. They're having a bit of a joke. So what I tended to do back in the day, like I just kind of run with the joke. Really, if they make a joke like "ha ha ha," you're eating the rabbit food. You'd be like, yeah, that's what it is, right? Rabbit food, clearly, yeah, good one. Yes, just that's it. You just kind of sarcastically like, yeah, that's very funny. And if it is genuinely funny, if it's genuinely a good joke, I would tell them that's actually a new joke. I've not heard that one before. Well done. I like that one. And what I find the same, we're going for the same thing, though, you and I. You're trying to disarm them by saying you want to try it. I disarm them by being a bit sarcastic or by laughing if it is actually funny, because I'm not faking it. If it genuinely is funny, I will laugh, and that disarms them from being mean. Because if you're not getting offended, then there is no problem.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
If you get offended, you create the problem because they're usually not trying to offend you. Now, if you get the sense they are trying to offend you, that's even more of a reason to shrug it off because you don't want them to succeed, right? So either way, the solution is shrug it off, basically. So I would recommend. So like, haha, good one, yeah. You got any more? You got any more? That was that. I've heard that one a million times. Give me something new. I do that sometimes. I've done that one quite a lot, actually. Yeah, I know that one. Give me something new. Can you make one up now? Go on, use your wit. You're a smart guy, aren't you? I thought you were smarter than that. Give me something new. And then they kind of sit there and go, and everyone's looking at them, right? And that's also a fun way of doing it because you spin it on them, right? Have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, and it backfires.
Because ultimately, like the outcome of that scenario is that no one's going to change because of that interaction. It's not like you could ever make anyone go vegan in that moment, right? So just don't even try and be an activist in that moment. It's not going to change anyone's minds. All you can do is you're at a Christmas party. The vibe is Christmas party. just play with the vibe, get on with your night, and then do your activism another time. That's how I deal with this kind of stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. Okay, well, we'll go through another question. We'll go straight to another one, unless you got something to add there, Lawrence.
No, I haven't got anything on that
All
one.
right, cool. But yeah, I'll never give people my food, man. No chance. If they want to, it's, I don't know. I don't care if it's like, oh, but it's activism. No, it's my food. If you want my food, order my food. You have the option to order what I'm having. So I'll give you my leftovers if I end up leaving some, right? You can have the leftovers like my doggos, because why not? But that's it. Even my doggos don't get my food, man. When I'm around doggos, you eat when I've finished, and that is it. That is it. I love you, but you ain't getting one bite until I'm done. Okay, I'm the alpha here. They need to know, Lawrence.
This is my alpha burrito.
Right. This is a good question from Cliff. Things are about to get hairy out here. Cliff Grant asked me this question. He goes, shouldn't vegans abstain from tables where there are dead animals or animal products? Ooh. So,
who's going first?
What Cliff is referring to here is something called the Liberation Pledge. The Liberation Pledge is a pledge where you agree or you pledge or whatever, commit to not eating at tables where meat is at the table. And some people extend it also to all animal products. The purpose of it is not some kind of purity thing, which people get confused about. It's not what it's about. It's actually, it's in itself, it's kind of a form of protest, because by you not sitting there and refusing, you are highlighting the issue at hand, right? If you sit there and you smile and you have a good time and there's dead animals at the table, you're normalizing the whole situation, and you can't really do activism in that scenario, can you? You can't start outreaching while there's a dead cow at the table. It's not going to work. People get too defensive. So the best thing you could do if you want to do activism is simply say, I'm not going to sit with you because I don't agree with what this is happening. I don't agree with this violence. So I'm going to remove myself from the situation because of that, because I can't stand it. I can't handle what's happening here. It hurts me. It hurts animals. I'm out of here, right? And I think that's very powerful, to be honest. I think it is a powerful form of activism for sure, personally. My answer to the question, should vegans do it, is no. It's not an ought, right? I don't think vegans ought to do that. I think that vegans can do that. If you want to do activism at that moment, then that is a very good way to do it. That is a very good way to do activism. But if you're in a position where you do a lot of activism already, and if eating around meat and dead animals doesn't bother you, right? As in, if you're going to sit there having the worst day of your life, you probably shouldn't sit there. But if you can handle sitting there and imagine you're one of these people that just, it doesn't phase you necessarily when the animal, when the products are out there, when they turn into products, right? Then, and you need that social interaction. You need that to be good activism. So you need recovery. You need to be around your family and friends, and they won't eat vegan. Then, well, I don't think it's right to say you shouldn't do that. It's individual, it's personal. So, yeah, that's my stance on it. So I guess summarized, do it if you want to be an activist in that moment. If you more value the social interactions in that moment and you're okay with sitting there, then sit there. It's up to you. What do you think, Lawrence?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I think I've got one tiny bit extra thing to add, but in general, yeah, I agree with you. I think different people are going to be suited to different forms of activism, and some people are more
sensitive.
Yeah, well, it's not really sensitive, because people aren't necessarily emotionally protecting themselves by taking this pledge. It's like you said, it's seen as a form of activism.
They are.
Well, it might do both. It might do both, but some people will be taking the pledge as a form of statement rather than a form of emotional protection, right?
Yes.
But it will be both for some people. I think when it comes to the pledge, it's actually interesting. I actually have not come across many people like in the past couple of years that have taken it. It seemed to be much more popular like 4 or 5 years ago.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, but I think the pledge suits, this isn't always the case, but it suits certain personality types. you can't, to be able to actually carry it out,
Mhm.
you kind of have to be, if you're very conflict avoidant, it's going to be difficult to do the pledge on an ongoing basis, right?
Yeah.
Because you're constantly going to be in situations where you actually have to bring up this conflict and be like, actually, I'm not going to be sitting with you,
Mm.
right? And that's a situation where you can actually very easily offend someone if they don't fully take on board what you're saying.
Right.
So I feel like it's much more suited to certain personality types, and just in general, like what you said, different people do different forms of activism.
Mhm.
If someone does loads of activism, but it's some other type,
Mm.
and they don't want to sacrifice this like social sort of environment,
Mhm.
then I personally have no issue with that.
Right.
Other people will treat this as a form of activism, and they won't do the activism that that other person is doing.
Right.
It's just kind of down to personal preference for me.
That's it. I agree. I agree. But we can talk about it personally as well. I mean, we've just we've covered it objectively. Now I'll say personally, what do I do? I can tell you that just recently I was invited to, like, it was a couple months back actually. So Annie and I were invited by a good friend of mine to go to something. I can't remember what we were going to do, but there was food involved and there was a thing going on, and it was just going to be me and Annie and him and his wife, and we all know we're on the same page. Like, they know the deal. They know that we're not going to be happy and we're not going to sit with them if they eat meat, right? And this is less of a liberation pledge type thing. I wouldn't even say I wouldn't even prescribe like that I take to that pledge right now. It's not necessarily that. This is more of a very personal thing for me, that after what I've seen and what I do and the work that I've been doing recently, I physically cannot sit there with it. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's just it. If I did it, I'd sit there, my skin would be crawling. I wouldn't be able to focus. I wouldn't be able to enjoy myself. So that's how it is for me. That's why I
Yeah,
personally
yeah.
won't sit there and if someone's eating animal products, or I can't do it. It's pointless to me. Like, why would you want to hang out with me when I literally can't handle what's happening? I can't. I just
Yeah,
need. I
yeah.
want to get out of there, right? So he knows that. She knows that. And then the plans changed. Turned out a few more people will come in, like 5, 6 more people. All of the meat eaters apart from one, and they were going to this place now. And I just said, look, I'm not doing it. I just straight up said, I'm out. I'm sorry. I'm bailing out. I'm not coming. And then Annie and I, we didn't go because at the end of the day, I told him it's because of the situation that I've just explained, that each of them is going to be eating whatever, right? Loads of meat, most likely. And we're not comfortable with, we were planning to come and see you. We're not comfortable with coming sitting with a load of people who are going to be doing this. And I'm not willing to start telling them what to do and not to do when I don't really know them that well. Like, oh, by the way, guys, everyone needs to eat vegan because I'm coming. I'm not prepared to do that. I'm not going to have a good night if I do that. And I'm not going to have a good night if I come and sit with them all eating meat. So either way, it's a lose-lose for me. We'll do something a different time. You know, so just to be clear to everybody, that's where I stand on it. However, if you don't agree, if you don't do that, then that's what I was trying to say earlier. It's not, and I don't believe you should do it the same way as me. That's up to you. It really is a personal thing. What about you, Lawrence? Are you somebody who avoids those situations too?
I avoid them, but I don't think I avoid them to the degree that like that, right? So for me, it's quite rare that I like sit at a table and eat with a non-vegan anyway.
Yeah.
Most of the time I do that, it's like an organized thing, like I'm going for a meal with someone, right? And I just, everyone that I do that with already knows me now, already knows that I'm going to be picking the restaurant. They're just so used to it that I'm always picking fully vegan restaurants, right? And in London, there's so many, no one ever has an issue.
You're
It's not
lucky
like
for
we're going
that,
to the same place. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like we're going to the same place every time. Like, in fact, I actually think a lot of my friends who I do this with enjoy it because they actually get well, it's not like I pay for them, we pay 50, but like I suggest loads of different restaurants, right? So they get like a massive variety, and you know, we have Chinese, or we go to Unity Diner, or we have pizza or whatever. So in that respect, I don't come into contact with the actual issue where the liberation pledge would come up. The only time I do is occasionally when there's some sort of family do going on, right? Because then it's harder for me to make the suggestion of where we eat.
Right.
Because, I mean, you know how everyone knows how it is with family. Like with family, people aren't as like, when it's with friends, if someone makes a suggestion, everyone's like, yeah, okay, sure, we can do that. But with family, people aren't scared of going like, no, I don't want to do that.
Right.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. Man.
So,
there's nothing worse than stubborn morons in family and friend situations.
Yeah.
But I know with family it's especially worse because they, because family tends to be older. It's the older people that tend to be the problem. It's not like your younger cousin that's got an issue, is it? It's going to be the older uncle or aunt or grandparents or whatever. And it seems to be the older people get, the more stubborn they get and the more unreasonable they become. They have this kind of self, I don't know what the word is. They believe that they are owed a meat dish. It's a weird thing. It's like, well, I deserve it kind of thing. It's like, well, what is this? Like, why have you emotionally attached yourself so much to meat, dairy, and eggs to the point where you can't even have one meal without it? That is wild. But I know a lot of people are going through that this Christmas, and you just gotta. We'll get to how to handle that as we go forward.
Yeah.
We've got some more questions around that too. But yeah, a good answer, man. It's interesting to see how our perspectives are on this. I think to be honest with you, I think anybody to just conclude this part, I think anybody who has spent any time in and around farms and slaughterhouses will have the same take as both yourself, and I think we're pretty much on the same page. I think it tends to be easier to handle people just eating meat or whatever around you if you've not had that experience, I feel. And that's totally fine. This is what I mean. This is why I'm saying it's a very personal decision to make. There's no. It's not like it's objectively true that if you take this pledge that you'll have more of an impact on the world. It's not object. There's no data on this. There's no studies on this. Yeah. It's pure opinion. So if you choose to eat with meat eaters, that's up to you. If you choose not to, that's also up to you. We're just
Yeah. And also just to say, like, even if there was some data to show that taking the liberation pledge did mean you had more of an impact than if you didn't, like, you can make up the impact in other areas, right? Like, it's not like that's the only way of having impact. Yeah.
Also, that's an important point as well. We have a question from Dillian, who dropped in a $5 tip. Cheers, mate. He says, "What about bringing Beyond Burgers disguised as dog meat?" I mean, it would
Christmas. Who eats burgers for Christmas?
When you could grab some Beyond Burgers, you could mash them up, and then you could put them into a Wellington or something, right? And you can make yourself a Wellington. Tell them it's a dog Wellington.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I think that's go on, mate.
No, I was just going to say that's a decent not to tell them it's a dog Wellington, but I was actually thinking I might actually make a beef Wellington with Beyond mince. That's actually a decent idea.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I did it last Christmas, I think it was, at Annie's in Finland. So we bought a load of cheap vegan burgers, right? They were like the cheap, nasty ones from the shop. I mean, they're not nasty. They're fine. They're just not the best. And I blended them all up, and then I used them as the meat for a Wellington. And they went from being these kind of okay burgers, but in a Wellington they were pretty banging, because the Wellington ended up being about that big, the meat bit, right? And it was just like, oh, you chop into it, and it was just like, it was actually so much that one slice of it was made you feel a bit sick actually in the end, because it was like, oh man, that's too much of that burger right there. But disguising it as dog meat, I think Dillian's messing around. He's having a joke, but it is a funny idea to bring something to the table, and then everyone goes, oh, look at what you brought. What is it? And you're just like, dog. It's dog.
I think the only extent you can do that is just like a bit of banter at Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be genuine outreach.
No, of course not. You could, you don't know Dillian. I know Dillian pretty well, and I can imagine he could pull this off actually really well, and just everyone would be. But then again, I also know that, I think Dillian, you've got a sister who's very aggressive, right? Aggressively anti-vegan, I believe. So maybe you shouldn't do it actually, because it'll just be like a massive fight at Christmas. But if your family's pretty chill and they're not very fighty and they're not going to come after you, then you could do it as a bit of a joke and say, look, it's dog, and everyone goes, what? You're like, well, if we've got cow and pig at the table, why not dog, right? And like kind of do it as like a cheeky, smirky thing, just to just dig people a little bit, as long as you're not going to cause some massive argument and ruin Christmas, because the last thing that you want to be associated with as a vegan is ruining Christmas. We already get associated with ruining everything else. Don't add Christmas to the list. Every year, everyone's like, Peter's ruining Christmas again. It's like, no, they're not. They're just trying to gently suggest you don't eat turkeys. Like, literally happens every year, guys. Just get the memo, yeah? God damn. So funny. All right. Okay, this is the question of the day. This is the one that,
Yeah.
yeah, like you said earlier, just before the stream, you said, if we could answer this, then, I mean, there's no need for vegan YouTubers anymore if we can answer
Yeah.
this today, because this is the question that everyone asks, right? This is the ultimate question. So, how to make my family really make the connection and go vegan? This is from, it's from Earthling Thomas, actually, who I believe is here in the live chat as well. What's up, mate? So, I mean, if we could answer that in just one go, like I said, there's no need for my channel anymore. There's no need for Earthling Ed's channel. we just all go out and do it, you know. But Lawrence, you can start this time. I've started the last couple, so I'll let you take the mic
I mean,
on the hardest
cheers
question.
for giving me this one. Yeah.
No, if you're not ready, if you want to think more about it, I'll go. If you
no, I've got stuff.
All right, cool.
So, I think the first thing to say is it's really going to depend on the person and your relationship with them.
Yep.
So, the reason that we have a variety of approaches in terms of trying to convince people to become vegan is because, you know, the saying goes, different strokes, different folks, right? Like, one good example is some people will be, you know, attracted by like an environmental message. I actually know quite a few hardcore animal rights activists who became vegan originally because they saw Cowspiracy for environmental reasons, and then they found out about the ethical stuff. I know other people who saw Gary Yoffsky's speech and boom, vegan overnight, right? So it really depends. When it comes to family, because this person's asking about family specifically, I think, again, it really depends on your relationship with them because everyone has a different relationship with family. If you have someone who you know it's not going to go well with, like maybe you've had a conversation with them in the past and I just probably leave it with them. I think like family members that if you see them quite regularly and you like they have, you know, they seem either neutral or quite positive, I think food is a really good way of easing someone into it. You know, like buying products or making food or something like that, and making sure that they try it or have some. Yeah. Other than that, with family, it's a difficult one because family can just go so wrong. You know.
Yeah. I think the things you said are all very much what I would call standard practice for vegans. I mean, this is the basic advice that I think if you ask anyone this question, that's the answer you're going to get about being individual, because it's true. There's no other way around it. Everything Lauren said is absolutely true. To add anything else to that is quite difficult. But I mean, all I'd say is, I'll tell you what, I'll say this, right? I'll tell you what I think you should or shouldn't be doing in general, but also applies to family and friends. Not should or shouldn't, that's not the right word, but what I would advise to do and not to do. So what I'm seeing recently, and I'm going to do a whole video about this on a separate occasion on this topic, but what I'm seeing a lot of recently is vegans, we've been accused of being overly emotional and too feely and touchy-feely for a very long time, like hippies, oh, we just cry about animals, blah, blah, blah. And that's always been the accusation. And to be fair, that is most of when vegans, when we're talking to people, we are trying to pull at their heartstrings, because ultimately, if you can't convince someone that an animal, a little innocent animal, deserves to be defended, and based on the fact that, I mean, look at them, look how innocent they are, defenseless they are, you can't appeal to their heart, then you've got no chance of ever appealing to anything else about them, really, have you, right? So of course that's where we focus most of our aim, because we care about animals, and this is a caring movement. Of course we can back it up with facts and we can back it up with logic when we need to, but ultimately we're a movement that's about what is right and what is wrong, and we're about defending those who can't defend themselves against the humans, right? So it's a very much like a justice kind of world that we're in. So we have to lead with our hearts. But unfortunately, I see now there's been a bit of a shift to more to cold, hard logic, right? And I feel like it's kind of, people have thrown the baby out with the bathwater. Like, yes, it's good to apply some more factual based and the kind of logic based approaches, but that doesn't mean you completely forget and just stop trying to appeal to people's hearts. And that's what I'm seeing a lot of people switch to. They're kind of going, well, you are logically inconsistent, and that's the problem. It's like, no. The problem is they're paying people to stab animals, and that's horrible. These innocent animals, they're paying people to stab them. That is always the problem. The logical inconsistency is a whole separate thing. That's a philosophical thing, right? People don't care about being inconsistent logically. Most people don't give a crap. Right? You could tell somebody in the street, but you're logically inconsistent. Like, I don't give a shit. What does that mean? I'm going to go get a burger. They don't care, right? So what I would say, if you're going to talk to your family and friends, which I'm sure most of you already are like this, by the way, try not to fall into that trap that I see a lot of people falling into, where they think being pure logical and pure rational critical thinking is going to bring someone to a revelation they should go vegan. It's not, most likely. Combined with talking to somebody's heart, you've got a way better chance, right? You got to pick and choose the tools. And I think a good big chunk of how we talk to people should be focused on reaching them and touching their heart, with the backup, like I said, of logic, with the backup of critical thinking, with the backup of being logically correct, right? As a backup, not as a leading. So if you're going to go to your family and friends with that stuff, and you're going to go to your family and friends to try and talk about this, keep that in mind. That's what I would say here. What do you think, Lawrence?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I agree. Like, I understand why people take a logical approach to things sometimes, but I think by and large, we need to realize that, yeah, most people are not driven by logic, right? Like, yeah, like you said, people just don't care if they're logically consistent. Some people may say they care.
Yeah,
but actually, most people don't even say that, and even the people that do say that generally don't.
Mate, look at the biggest well-known people in the kind of philosophy, logic kind of world. The famous people, Sam Harris, or what's that guy from the Atheist Experience?
Matt Dillahunty.
Right, and look how badly they've gone. Emotional they've gone when veganism's come up. It's not like they accept that they are logically wrong, right? That they don't make sense. But instead of just saying, yeah, I'm going to change now, they cling to their previous ideals. Why? Because their mind may be changed. The mind in their mind, they know they're wrong, but in their heart, they've not been convinced. So at the end of the day, it falls to pieces again. And by the way, sorry, can I just clarify something? You said the logical approach, like the going for someone's heart is a logical approach, right? I'm not saying be illogical. I'm not saying lie. I'm not saying ignore facts and ignore logic. I'm saying cold, hard logic, in my opinion, is not what you should be leading with or focusing on in a conversation about veganism. That's what I'm saying. It should be there to support your trying to reach someone. Right, support that path. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. The just going back to the whole family thing. Another thing I would add as well, and I know not everyone has access to this, but I would also say that with family, it is quite a good thing to take them to a sanctuary.
Ah, nice.
So I've personally taken one member of my family to a sanctuary, and it was a positive experience. I've spoken to a lot of people, because I volunteer at a sanctuary. I've spoken to quite a lot of people who have taken their family. I've never heard of anyone having a negative experience.
Right.
So I would say that is a pretty positive thing to do. I know not everyone is near a sanctuary, and also not everyone's family will be willing to go. But if your family are willing to go, one, that's a good sign in and of itself that they're willing to do that. But also, like you were saying before, like the leading with logic is not always the best way to go. And what is the best, is the best way to sort of emotionally appeal to someone's care side, right?
Right.
To appeal to the care that they have, for them to actually be like next to the animals and like experience what it is like to be, to connect. I'm trying to make it not sound wishy-washy.
No, I understand what you're saying.
To actually be able,
but the thing is, like, there is data to back up exactly what you're saying. There are studies, or not, maybe not studies. Actually, I don't know about studies, but there are definitely powerful anecdotes to back up what you're saying here. For example, people who have been involved in, white supremacist movements, who have been convinced to leave by people who are black or Asian.
Daryl Davis.
Exactly, right. But by contact is incredibly powerful for humans. Why wouldn't it be powerful for animals too? And obviously the framing has to be right. So obviously contact when it's conflict is not going to help, but contact in a way, for example, going to see a farm, the framing is off, right? So you're going to see animals in a farm, but their entire purpose in that farm is to be used as resources. So that's possibly not going to make the connection right. But going to a sanctuary for contact, where the sanctuary workers are explaining what they were rescued from and explaining what they were going to go through and what they actually are now going through, that has a lot of potential for really valuable contact that could potentially change somebody's life and make them consider these animals as more than just meat and products, right? So I think you're 100% right, based on I mean, yeah, I have no kind of data to back it, but it feels right, doesn't it? It feels like it would be right
Yeah.
if
Well, I think one of the reasons why it is a good thing to do is because when you actually experience what it's like to be around an individual, whether they're human or non-human, right? You can interact with them.
Right.
You actually experience, or you actually like witness what it is like what they are like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when people talk about the animals or whatever, it's very easy to be working off generalizations or stereotypes or whatever.
Right.
You know, like how a lot of people have the perception that animals are stupid,
Right.
and until they actually meet animals, the amount of times I have been at a sanctuary and overheard someone say, "Oh, that's really smart what that animal is doing," right? Because they're surprised by it. They think animals are stupid.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, some animals are stupid, like some humans are stupid, right? But like there are like many of the animals that we exploit are actually very much more intelligent than we give them credit for, right? And I think actually going and being with the animals and seeing them just be themselves allows someone to recognize that.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
It's the same with the example you gave about Daryl Davis, him going to the KKK. A lot of the reason that they were able to hold this view of non-white people in the head is because they didn't interact with them much, right? But
Right.
when you actually interact with someone, you are able to form a friendship and realize, actually, this guy is just the same as me, but his skin just happens to be like some shades darker.
This is it. Yeah, exactly.
Then you realize, yeah.
No, exactly. 100%. Yeah, 100%. As somebody mentioned in the comments, animals are here with us, not for us. Animals are not able to express themselves when they're in farmed situations. That's actually really important as well. And not only that, even when you go to a sanctuary, it might take a little time before the animal actually feels comfortable to express who they are to you, or it might take you a little time to actually notice how an animal does express themselves. Sometimes it's not completely clear. Like you can sit in a field, for example, full of cows, and you can watch the cows, and you might think they have absolutely no interest in you whatsoever. They're not looking at you, they're ignoring you. So in a human context, if someone's not looking at you and ignoring you, we assume that they're not interested in you, right? In a cow context, that is not the case at all. They might not be looking at you, right? But if you watch how they're moving, they they might not be coming directly towards you, but just watch what they do. They kind of pretend to not see you, and they go kind of around, but they're coming closer and closer. And if you stay there long enough, eventually they'll get to you, and then they'll show you directly they are interested. They'll try licking you and stuff like that. So, you know, again, but if you were sat there for 2 minutes, you'd think, oh, they don't even care. Like, they're not even bothered. You need to sit there for about 20 minutes, and then they'll show you, right? So this is the other thing that people need to realize. You got to actually be aware and conscious, sensitive to the little things in animals, because they're not. You're not a human. They're not humans. So of course you're not going to spot it right away. They don't act like humans, right? It's different. So yeah, I mean, anyway, the point being, when someone goes to a sanctuary and experiences that and actually spends a solid amount of time with different animals and like, oh, so that's how these ones operate. That's how these ones talk. That's how, okay, cool. And then another one. And yeah, I mean, that should be very powerful. I can imagine that would be very transformational for people. They should do it. I mean, goats are my favorite animals by far. They're the most.
Really?
Oh, 100%. I mean, in terms of, I say favorite, I just mean the ones that I most enjoy watching. Have you ever seen goats like just out and about? They're just mooching. Have you ever seen that?
Well, yeah, there's goats at the sanctuary I volunteer at.
Yeah.
I mean, they're obviously in like their area,
Right.
but I don't know. Yeah,
Just gotta watch them,
out
man.
and about like on some mountain.
Have
or
you
some
sat?
shit.
I mean, have you sat and watched them for a good amount of time? Have you ever just tried that?
Yeah.
They're mental. I love it. They just climb
Yeah,
shit. They stand on
exactly,
things.
yeah.
They stand on each other. I just find them absolutely hilarious. And there's no rhyme or reason to what they do. Apart from, in my eyes, there isn't. They just like stand in their own food sometimes, and like just, you're just like, why are you why there? You've got all this room, and you stand in your own food or in their own water, and you're like, why is that the spot you've chosen? Or like they jump on each other's backs and stuff too, right? It's so funny. I think that I just find them hilarious, you know. And how could you watch them playing like that and just being so silly and funny, and then go home and pay someone to stab one? You know, it's wild, isn't it?
You know, there's like fully goat like sanctuaries.
Yeah. I've not been to any, but I've been to places
right.
where there've been
there's
a lot
one near
of goats,
London.
so.
Yeah, there's one near London. I forget what it's called, but it's literally it's all goats.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, man,
yeah.
that sounds like heaven. Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah.
I saw a wild goat once, a wild mountain goat, when I was I went
Where?
in Spain. I climbed this. Well, it's not climbed, but I hiked a mountain, and the sun went down, so I had to sleep. I had a sleeping bag just in case. But that wasn't the plan. But the sun just dropped really quick, so we're like, oh fuck! So I had to sleep out there, and then woke up at something like the sunrise is really early in the summery time, and yeah, there were just mountain goats nearby, just like. When I started moving, they shit themselves and sprinted off, and I was like, "What the hell? That's crazy! Mountain goats up here." Yeah, they're awesome. I love goats. All right, we got a question. This one's I think we'll save that one for later because it's not very Christmassy, but it's a good one. The one about the it's a baby question, vegan baby question, but it's we'll come back to it if we get around to it. Okay, all right. This one's Annie asked this question, and I think she's thrown it in there for us, so it's just a nice topic to discuss. What to get my non-vegan partner, friend slash relative for Christmas? I don't know. I mean, if your partner and relative are the same, I mean that's probably illegal. First of all, so I mean I wouldn't get them. I mean, I'd consider getting some help for whatever you've got going on there. But oh, maybe she meant partner or friend or relative. Okay, sorry, yeah. Okay, so yeah, so basically, what would you get a non-vegan for Christmas?
I mean, I don't know. You could get like obviously don't get them something that's non-vegan, but like there's loads of stuff that's just like random, right? Like I don't know. You could get them like there's loads of stuff that just isn't relevant, like, right? Like, you could, I don't know, some sort of, like, I don't know, are they a gamer? Get them a game? Like, it's got nothing to do. Yeah. But, I mean, if we're talking, I don't know, like...
I guess, I don't really know it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for activism, isn't it? You know, I would, okay, if you're looking for, like, as an opportunity for activism, I'd say get them something like sponsor an animal at a sanctuary on their behalf.
Oh, right.
Say, oh look, I got you a sponsorship. You are now you have now paid for this animal's food for the year. They're gonna have a year of food thanks to you. This is your, and you're gonna get a letter every month or whatever about how they're doing and an update. And that's what you've done. Like, how nice is that, right? And especially pick a pig or a cow, so that when they're when they're going back to normal life after Christmas, you can remind them like, oh, did you eat any of I don't know, they say that the animal's name's Daisy. Did you eat any of Daisy's mates today? I'm serious. It can be like slightly tongue in cheek, but also that could help somebody really connect. The fact that they are now getting letters from an animal at a sanctuary that they have paid for, it could help them gently connect.
Well, and also to connect it to the last one, you could sponsor an animal at a local sanctuary and then some point in the year go and actually visit that animal.
Yeah, that's also a great idea. Yeah, Cliff says, get them a heart. you could get them one of those little spongy hearts you can buy and then say, oh, I got you a heart. Like, what does that mean? Like, well, you don't have a heart clearly because you're not vegan. So I was hoping no, that's not a good present. It'd be good if you wanted to fall out with them, but I think sponsoring an animal at a sanctuary is a brilliant idea, because I just came up with it just now. So of course it's a brilliant idea.
You could you could be sat there on Christmas Day and ask all of your family to open your presents you got them at Christmas, and you've got every single one of them Earthling Ed's latest book.
Oh wow. It's not a bad shout.
That is a joke. It's not
a bad shout. No, I mean, not the book that he's just made, but there's another book that he did, right? That was aimed at non-vegans.
The Lies the Meat Industry.
Yeah, get him that book. Yeah, for sure. That's a good gift. You could get them. You can get them a calendar from a sanctuary. That's another good idea. So they every month they've got an animal on there that's been rescued, and that's really nice with a story. Yeah, people are putting in, get them cruelty-free vegan lotions, toiletry, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Vegan specific stuff that is specifically like, oh, this is our vegan brand kind of thing. So it's very obviously vegan. Vegan chocolate. There's loads of nice vegan chocolate brands now.
Yeah, so I can give you some examples of things like I'm getting people, because none of them will watch this stream, so it won't spoil the surprise. So for my grandma, she has a real like sweet tooth, right? So I'm getting her
saucy bitch. Bet she does.
What does that even mean?
I don't know, man. It was one of those moments where it popped into my head and I wasn't quick enough to filter it. That's pretty much how it went down. So I'll.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get her to watch this stream.
That's her gift for Christmas. Me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get it?
A
No,
personalized message from David Ram.
I'm filtering what I wanted to say just now. Continue, please. Before the just move the conversation forward,
Okay.
Lawrence, please.
So basically, I was gonna get her a box of like really nice vegan. There's this brand who make like vegan chocolates in the UK. I don't know if they're abroad as well, called Booja Booja.
Oh,
you probably
yeah,
know them,
man.
right?
We've got some right here.
And it,
Here we go.
yeah, and it's proper. I didn't know they'd sell them up north.
Hell, what you fucking prick. Yeah, we're all poor up here, but this is the Booja Booja. They got it in a. Let me hold it up. They got it in Tesco's. Actually,
Mate, that is literally the one I've got.
it is so nice. Yeah,
I
I'll show these.
Is that the
guys.
winter collection?
This is the signature collection, organic and dairy free. It says. It doesn't even say vegan on it, but it is vegan. That's like. Here you go. I'll open her up for you. Oh, look at that. We've eaten quite a lot of this one. I got this for Annie for her birthday. So, oh, look at that.
Is it black, your one?
Is it what? Black?
Is it
no
black?
Purple?
Oh, right. So mine is the award-winning selection.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You see, guys, this is what a YouTube career gets you. Yeah. The
Yeah.
most expensive vegan chocolates on the market. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. You should only. These are special occasion chocolates. All right. I do not recommend buying this as like a. If you're someone who eats chocolate a lot, this is way too expensive, right? It's like a one-off.
Yeah.
But they're amazing, guys. They're worth it.
Yeah, they're really good. So they do sort of like chocolate tray boxes, like the ones we just showed on camera. They also do have a range of ice creams as well, which I don't think I've ever had. But
oh, hold up! I need to take something back. I'm so sorry. Hold up.
What?
So I forgot. See, I bought Annie a lot of stuff for her birthday, including chocolate, but I did not buy her these chocolates. Okay, I got confused. JP and Julia bought Annie these chocolates. I'm so sorry. She just put in the comments, David, did you? It's like, no, I got. I got Annie a lot of different chocolate, but not this one. There's Saturn. JP and Julia sat here in the comments like, I'm sorry, what? Wait, I'm sorry, who bought that for Annie for her birthday? Oh, that's so funny. Let me tell you something funny, side story. So Annie and I were staying at a vegan B&B, right, for Annie's birthday. And we got into the room and those chocolates were on the bed in the room.
Oh, no.
JP and Julia had managed to get them planted in the room that we were going to stay in. How crazy is that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, that's sick.
Yeah, how nice is that? That's crazy that they managed that. Anyway, I feel embarrassed for trying to take the credit. All right, but yes, get people that. That's a really good Christmas present. Yeah. That's a really, really good Christmas present for sure. Yeah, that's a solid one.
Yeah, Booja Booja.
I think we've.
No, I was just going to say, other than that, I've got people like different books, and that, that's not really like relevant to veganism. It's books, just paper, like, So
why would it? Wait, I don't get it. Why is it? What do you mean it's not relevant to veganism? What? I don't get it.
Well, because there are something when someone asks what should I get a non-vegan for Christmas, there are some things where veganism is just not relevant to it, right? Like I got them skydiving.
Yeah, but this is a vegan YouTube channel, so we're not going to go through general gift giving ideas. Oh, get them a skydiving lesson. Buy them a book, a textbook. Like we're not here for that, man. Okay. They can Google gift ideas for dad if they want to find out general gift ideas.
Okay, right. So you want okay. Well, I was just being a bit sort of like.
I don't know what you were being just now.
No, I'm not going to use the term on stream.
Wanky.
But no, yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah.
That's so funny.
Okay, so it's vegan things that for non-vegan.
Yeah, man, stuff like that. That would, I assume, anyway. I mean, that's what we're all looking for, isn't it? How to have people a bit more open to it and maybe make more connections. So
yeah. So just one other, like, obviously someone said lotions already. Another thing that you can get is like posh candles that don't have beeswax in. That's another thing some people like,
good idea.
Stuff like that.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's enough gift ideas for everybody there. I think we're sorted. Now we need to, actually, the next question.
You won't like the next question then.
The next question is what to get a vegan partner or a friend or relative, but it's all the same stuff as what we just said for
Booja Booja.
Huh?
Booja Booja.
Yeah, it's all the same stuff we just said. Get them the bouger
Mm.
bouger, yeah. Get them on a trip to sanctuaries, whatever. There's loads of ideas. We just went through them all. They're the same for both.
Skydiving.
Skydiving. Can't believe you just went into like personal shopper mode. Like, oh, okay, let's talk about all the different things we could get for Christmas. All right. Okay. This is a good question. So this is from Annie Koskimis on Instagram. How to prepare for a family Christmas with ham, etc. What should I try to think to distract myself? I'll start with this one. So obviously, this is someone, Annie, who is going to struggle sitting there with like ham around and all the meat products around and stuff like that. And this is what we discussed earlier. This is what we were saying when it comes to this idea of not sitting with people eating meat. When should you not do it, right? Now, this person is saying she's going to have a really tough time. What should I try to do to distract myself? What should I think about to distract myself? Here is the situation where I would say, step away. Actually, this is if you are trying to think of things to distract you from what is going on in the room. Well, why would you put yourself in that position anyway? If you don't have to, right? If you've got an option to not do it, then don't do it, because it's clearly going to bother you. And with it, people want to be around you, right? And this is how you explain it to the people. You say, listen, you want to be around me. You want me to be here and be happy. You've invited me to this dinner. You've invited me because you want me to be a part of the conversation, to have a nice time with you and spend quality time together. I cannot spend quality time with you. I cannot be myself. I can't smile. I can't enjoy myself when there are dead animals at the table. It bothers me. Okay, so I'm not happy. I can't be myself. So I will come, but I won't. And we'll be able to socialize and stuff. And after dinner, before dinner, etc., we can socialize, hang out, watch the movie, whatever we do, play some board games, do the presents, everything. But I'm not going to sit with you when we're eating, because it's just not going to work for me. Okay, it bothers me too much. And you can organize that. You get a plate of food made, and you sit at the sofa, right, or you sit somewhere else, and that's totally fine. I think most people would be fine with that. They might not. They might feel a little awkward, and you might feel a little awkward, but at least you don't have to sit at the dinner table facing all of that, right? Or the alternative would be, you could literally, I mean, most people, you're going to be in someone's house. You could literally just go, all right, I'm going to go upstairs. I'll eat later. And then you come down when dinner's over, right? And again, you don't just do it on the spot. Like, explain why it's happening in advance. Explain what you're going to do in advance so everybody understands. And I think it's a perfectly reasonable thing to ask if you are somebody who's going to be that bothered by it, right? What do you think, Lawrence?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's gonna depend. I don't know like how outgoing she is. So some people are so conflict avoidant that they won't be able to bring that up. So I'm gonna take it from the angle of like, I'm assuming a person who is gonna find themselves at the dinner table. Because some people just, they're just very shy and they won't want to bring that sort of thing up, or they won't be able to bring themselves to bring that up.
Sure.
So they'll just probably grin their teeth, right? What is that saying? Grit their teeth.
Grit their teeth.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So to be honest, I would say, just if you can influence conversation so it is not on the topic of food. Because what's going to make it worse is people constantly commenting on like, oh, this, ham is really nice and blah, 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 oh, where did you get it from, etc., etc. And that's all you can really do, to be honest. I don't know,
man.
I mean, once you're in that situation.
That doesn't sound good to me, though, because then if you do that, I've got to say, like, I'm not won over on that one. Because if you sit there and then they start talking about how good the food is, and you're like, let's not talk about the food. Well, of course they're going to talk about the food. It's Christmas dinner. I mean, like,
no, not necessarily. I mean, with my family, they don't just sit around and talk about the food.
Well, of course, because they're like thanking. What's that noise? Some outside. They're like thanking the chef and say, "Oh, you've done a great job. This is so good. Oh, it's so juicy." They're complimenting the person who's made it. Of course, they're going to do that. And then you're going to sit there as a vegan and go, could we not do that, please? It's like, oh, no. I think the best bet is just to leave.
You don't have to no, you don't have to. Well, yeah, you can, but I'm talking from the point of view of someone who's like super shy, right?
Yeah, but if you're super shy, then that's not happening as well. Like, that's not happening doing...
No, I'm not saying just explicitly say, let's not talk about
Yeah,
food.
can you
Just
stop
bring up
talking about
another
fucking food?
conversation.
All
Yeah,
right, all right.
exactly.
Oh, you mean like just
Just bring up another topic, right? Like,
sure.
oh, what films do you want to watch later or something like that?
All right, yeah. And then if they're like, "Oh, I want to watch a film that's all about Christmas turkeys," and you're like,
Yeah.
"God damn it!" No, I get. Okay, fine. Just basically try and move the conversation along is probably the
Yeah,
best you're gonna
exactly.
get.
That's what I
I
mean.
understand
But I
now.
think if you get to the point where you are really emotionally uncomfortable at the table and you're not the sort of person who could have been able to bring it up beforehand, you're probably not the sort of person who can bring it up at the time,
Right.
because that's an even worse scenario.
Yeah.
So you've just got to kind of just like distract the conversation itself,
Yeah.
have some influence over the environment, and that's all you can do.
No, for sure. That's yeah. And if you end up and if you can't even do that and you end up sat at the table, best thing you can do is just try and get through it. Just try and get through it. It's literally going to last 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I think there's a certain at some point, I think in every vegan's life, there comes a point where you just have to accept things for as they are in certain moments. And that is unfortunately how we have to be living in a non-vegan world. You cannot spend every minute of every day fighting. There are some times where you need to just go, this is how it is for now. I'm going to do my best to change this, but for now, this is where we're at. Okay. Sometimes it's a 5-minute thing, a 10-minute thing. Sometimes it might be longer than that. Could be that you end up sitting next to somebody on a flight who is on a full flight who's eating meat, right? And you're like, this. What am I going to do? There's nowhere else to go. The flight's full. I'm not going to ask them to stop. They've paid for that. You know what I mean? So you just got to suck it up. We end up in these moments a lot. The best thing you can do is breathe and say, it's fine. As soon as I'm out of this, I'm going to go back to trying to change the world. Right? That's how I deal with this crap over the many years that I've been vegan and, in the activism world anyway. Yeah. What is it? What they say? There's a saying that we have here, like, close your eyes and think of England. Or it's basically just means grit your teeth and just push on forward, basically.
Yeah.
But the close your eyes and think of England, I don't think that's to describe.
It's often used in a very specific scenario.
In that one, yeah, that's yeah. You can Google that, guys. Anyone that's not from England, but beware. All right, so JP and Julia, thank you for the tip, guys. They say, hello, David and Lawrence. I think we have the ultimate question for you as a vegan. What?
No, sorry. No, go on.
As a vegan, do you think it's okay to dress your dog up as a Christmas pudding at Christmas?
People dress their dogs up as Christmas puddings?
Hold up. What is that noise? Can you hear that?
No.
I'll let you answer that question first. I'm just going to quickly do something. Someone's like doing construction at like 7 o'clock on a yeah. You answer the question first. Okay. I'm not going to close the window. All right.
Yeah. So, well, to be honest, I know people do dress up their dogs. I didn't realize people dress their dogs up as Christmas puddings. So, I'm assuming this question, I can't remember the question word for word. So I'm assuming it's, should a vegan do that? I think it would be it would probably create a weird social environment if you went to someone else's house, their dog was dressed up as a Christmas pudding, and you told them, take that costume off your dog. That probably wouldn't work. But if you're talking about a dog that's in your care, like you're the guardian of this dog, it's a tricky one, because some dogs really do like, well, you don't have to dress them up for that. I would say generally no. Yeah, I would just say no, because I think if a dog is like the sort of dog that really loves attention and getting pets and people going ooh at the dog, that's going to happen anyway. So you don't need to dress them up. If the dog is not a dog that likes that, then don't put the costume on them to make it more likely. So, and also I just think generally it does treat them as a bit of I don't know if commodity is the right word, but it treats them like a bit of an accessory that you can just dress up how you like, right? I don't quite know how to articulate it, but it just seems a bit off to me. But it's a weird one, because I also have friends who are super vegan, and they have adopted a dog, and occasionally at Christmas they'll have little antlers that they put on their dog. And to be honest, I honestly don't see anything wrong with it, because the dogs is usually having a good time, and they do look cute, and it doesn't really, it's just like little antlers. It doesn't really change anyone's perception of the dog. It doesn't really make them like kind of sodomize them, whatever that word is, anymore. So, but I feel like a whole Christmas pudding, it's a bit weird.
All right. My take on this is, first of all, I don't really care that much, because in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter. But
Down with animal exploitation.
I just want to be clear. I genuinely couldn't really care less. And I'm never gonna have a go. Really, I might mention it in a video if someone takes it too far. But for example,
Dress them up as a hot dog.
Something. Well, I don't know if that's even a big deal. I mean, there was the video of that person, and they were making hot dogs, and then they turned to the sausage dog with the spatula and chased them around the house. And it's if they were vegan hot dogs, it would be quite funny. But it was quite funny, the idea. But yeah, anyway, the point being, about a good example of this that I did speak about and I don't like is when that farmer painted the England flag on the side of his cow, and the real insult to injury was that he did it for the women's football team, so it wasn't even like sorry.
Oh, right. I thought you were taking the angle of like dairy cow.
No, it's clearly horrible. Don't get me wrong, it's clearly horrible, but it adds insult to injury that it wasn't even for the men's team, right? That's what I'm saying. That's a bad joke, guys. I'm sorry. The whole situation.
I didn't even get it.
No, the whole situation is horrible. It's a horrible situation that he's not only is exploiting that animal and he's going to kill that animal, but he's taking the complete mick out of them by painting a flag on them. I mean, it's just horrible.
Yeah, it's the context.
And they've also been doing this for the recent things going on in the world now, which with they did it. Right, painting McDonald's, painting rats in different colors and throwing them in McDonald's. Or I saw one clip, they painted, I'm not going to say who did what because I'm not interested in getting into it here, but they painted an animal, a goat, I believe, with colors, and then killed the goat to signify, right?
Yeah.
So people are doing this kind of stuff, and these are obvious cases where it's wrong and it's horrible. Now let's get back to the question about dogs. Where do I stand with this? Again, I don't really care, but if you want me to answer the question, dressing dogs up treats them like they're some kind of toy, and that's the simple fact of it. But, and here's where it gets complicated, we dress children up and we don't see them as a toy, do we? Well, actually, no. Maybe actually, no. I take that back. People do see them as a toy. They see them as like a status symbol and stuff, babies, right? So actually they do. But the difference is babies are literally the most respected animals on the planet, human babies, right? The born ones anyway. The unborn, that's a whole different thing. But the born...
apart from if you talk to an anti-vegan, then it's grass is the most respected thing.
Sure. There's too many... Wait, but there's too many things going around here. Anyway, there's too many jokes going around here right now. But yeah, at least, anyway, yes, it's grass for the anti-vegans, and most people, when a baby's born, they get the utmost respect. 1 second before being born, and they get no respect. But as soon as they're born, they get all the respect in the world, right? Anyway, whole different topic, but anyway. So, babies they're like I don't even know, what's the most valuable thing in the world? Like diamonds, they're like, keep them safe and like, all this stuff, right? Whereas animals are the lowest life forms, lowest sentient life forms on Earth, the lowest beings on Earth in terms of like, the scale.
I don't know. Have you been Grimsby?
Huh?
No, it's a bad joke.
I don't know, mate. I don't know what you're getting at. Just let me finish my point. So okay. Dogs are at the top of that scale for most countries and most people, right? Dogs are just, I'd say, but just below babies, obviously, but they're probably, whoa, the hell? Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
My camera just disappeared. I guess people can still hear me, but I have no idea why it just did that. On the stream, it was like, see ya. Let me just try and put it back on again. That's so strange.
Oh yeah, no, you are off.
I don't know what just happened. Oh, it's completely disconnected. Okie dokie.
Do you want me to take on the next question while you do that?
Overheated like crazy.
So,
Yeah, you take the next question. Let me see what the hell's going on with
Okay,
that.
cool. So the next question is
No,
first
not
Christmas
next
as a
question. I
vegan.
wasn't finished with that one. I thought you were going to add something to it.
Oh, no. I've said my piece
All
on
right,
that.
hold up then. Let me finish. I'll just do it with my webcam until I figure out what the hell's wrong with that system.
Okay.
So anyway, dogs being up there, I guess things are a little bit different for them. However, the idea of treating animals like toys or things that we can just mess with, I do not like, basically. I do not like that. So in general, I'd say probably don't do that. Don't dress a dog up. Or if you're going to do it, don't put it on the internet. Just have it as something you do in your little home and your little family thing. And if the dog's cool with it, especially, it's all fine. If the dog's not cool with it, don't do it, full stop. That's pretty much all I'd say about it. Like, don't make it a trend, and it's probably not that big a deal. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do the next question while I try and figure out what the hell's going on.
Okay. So the next question is, so who's it from? So it is, So it is from, Aced Marcoot, from Instagram. So, first Christmas as a vegan, gonna bring my own food, but should I make more to share? I think this is a simple one for me. Yes, make more, so you can share. I think if you bring your own stuff, it's going to paint you as different. And obviously you are different because you're vegan and they're not, but it's going to like draw attention to that difference. And if there's not a bridge between your difference and their difference, then I feel like it's just going to other you. I don't see that as really doing anything positive. But if you bring extra stuff, it's not that you're withdrawing yourself by bringing your own stuff and doing your own thing. You're actually bringing something to the party, right? So it's kind of reversing it, I see. So it's not just like, it's not just making that there's no difference. It's actually doing something extra. You're actually bringing something. You've made an effort, right? You're contributing. And hopefully if it's nice, then you're exposing people to like to positive vegan food,
Yeah, if it's shit, don't bring extra, basically.
Yeah, if it's shit, if it's shit, just don't bring it. Go hungry.
Yeah. By the way, my video input for my camera is done. So you're gonna be stuck with webcam quality for the rest of the stream now, unfortunately, guys. Sorry about this. But yeah, nothing can't be helped, can it? I think I agree with what Lawrence said there anyway, with bringing the food. If it's if it's good, bring more of it. And yeah, I think I agree with everything you said. Just it's a no-brainer, I think, that one for sure.
Yeah.
I think the next one we've already answered, kind of. There's another question here. Someone's asked from Jeremy on Facebook. Do you have a favorite version of A Christmas Carol? How do you react to the murdered animal scenes? So I don't remember there being murdered animal scenes in
Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol, yeah. Do you know? Are there murdered animal scenes?
No, I mean, I haven't learnt any off by heart, but like the big, like chorus bits, I can't think of any particular murdered animal sort of stuff.
I mean, I think I like the Muppets one though. Anyway, that one seems to be the one that comes to mind first. I think that's the one I know the most, the Muppets one. What do you know that the Muppets one?
I'd probably recognize it, but I can't think of it off the top.
This is the one with the ghosts, right? Ghosts of Christmas past, present, future, stuff like that, right? Isn't that one, Christmas Carol?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's specifically Muppet because
no, I'm saying the story is that's the story of A Christmas Carol.
Oh, right, yeah. That's Christmas Carol.
I like the obviously the Bill Murray one. What's it called? That one. You know Bill Murray, right?
I don't know.
You know who Bill Murray is?
I know who he is. I don't know that he made a song.
A song? No, it's a movie. A Christmas Carol's a movie.
Oh, right. Oh, I haven't really seen any of them.
Oh my god, man.
What can I do?
You're showing your age.
I'm more
man.
diehard.
You're showing your age right now. Okay, so let me just remember the name of this one with Bill Murray. It's amazing, actually. It's called Scrooged. Okay. Now, it might be tough to get through because it is dated, right? I'm being honest with you. It's a very dated movie. It's held up mostly, but there are some moments where you're like, ugh, it just feels a bit, you know what I mean? Like it's a different style for a different time. But overall, it's a classic and it's brilliant. And some of the humor in it is really funny. Like, for example, there's one ghost in it and it's like a fairy. She's like a fairy, and she just beats the crap out of Bill Murray for no reason. Like he'll just be, it's so funny. He'll just be talking to her, and she'll just go bang and punch him in the face, and he's like, "Why?" And she just like beats him up, and it's just so random. You can tell whoever wrote it was just like, this is just so random. Let's just have her beat him up constantly, kicks him in the balls and stuff, smacks him over the head all the time, and it's just, you know, that's the kind of humor it is. But it's a good movie. Anyway, I like that one. That's Muppets and that one are two of my favorite ones, I'd say. But yeah, you can't even answer this because you didn't even know it was a movie. You're like, oh, what?
No,
Did Bill Murray do a song? Did he sing it? Can't believe you right now, man. What's going on?
Oh, you know what? I completely misunderstood this question. I thought they were asking what your favorite Christmas carol is in terms of songs.
I mean,
not films.
That would have been a very unusual question.
Yeah, I know. That's why I thought, like, what's this person on? They dropped something before they sent in that question.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that. You know, at the Christmas comedy, the Christmas party we just did, I had a funny song as my intro. Because we got to choose our music to go on the stage too, because we had a great guy who was on Aaron, who was on the decks, and he sorted that out for us, which was really nice. And I chose Jingle Bells by Korn. You know Korn, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't think I've heard this song, but I know Korn and I Jingle Bells. Yeah,
it's really funny. Anyway, it's just like, it's so ridiculously, disgustingly heavy, and everyone was just sat there like, what the hell? And it's like Jingle Bells. Like, you know, that was really, that was a good, if you want to know my song, that's probably like a good one for Christmas. All right. Okay, we've got a question from a non-vegan now. Let's do that. A good question from a non-vegan. Can I still have meat options for the Christmas feast, but also have vegan options to respect everyone's choices? Because I understand having dead bodies might offend the vegan guest, but understand I don't want to force any eating diet on anyone, so I don't want to have all vegan foods either. Please answer. I really want to know, and it could help. Thanks. To be honest with you, when people say please answer, I really want to know, I always assume that it's a troll, because I've noticed a lot of trolls do that recently, because the idea is that they get you to answer and it's actually just a waste of your time because they don't really care.
Oh, right.
But anyway, I'll assume this person's not a troll. And anyway, even if they were a troll, it doesn't matter because it's a good question and we should answer it. So I'll answer this one.
Right.
The thing is, they said, I don't want to force any diet on anyone, so I don't want to have all vegan food. Well, this is the beauty. If you have all vegan food, you aren't forcing it anyone on any diet. You're actually serving food that everybody can eat. So when you serve all vegan, everyone can enjoy it. So you've actually just provided a good food for everybody. But if you put meat out, then you're serving food that some people who are coming to your dinner can't eat, right? So actually, so put it this way, if your goal is to respect everyone, serve food they can all eat, and that is vegan food. Everybody who comes to the party can eat vegan food. That's my take on that. What do you think, Lawrence?
Yeah, I agree with that. The only thing that I would add is just, and you know, I'm sure this is like an expected point from a vegan, but like when we talk about forcing our dietary choices, like often people say that only thinking of humans, but you've got to remember that even if you see veganism, you know, and asking someone to eat vegan on a meal, even though I don't see that as forcing, even if someone does see that as forcing their belief on someone else or forcing veganism on them, it's not as hard a force as what would non-veganism be to the animal, if you get what I mean.
Right.
So when we talk about forcing dietary choices, we can't just think of the people who are eating. We've got to think of the other individuals who are being forced into, you know, whatever situation they're in and dying for that dietary choice as well.
Exactly. And when you take all that into consideration, it's a no-brainer that you should just do it all vegan. Like you can do vegan alternatives to meat. You can do vegan alternatives to everything. And as I said, if people don't like it, they can piss off, can't they? They can eat it if they don't. You know, it's not like they're taking it. It's not like they have some moral imperative as to why they won't eat vegan food. That doesn't make any bloody sense, right?
And also, like, there are ways you can do it where people aren't even going to know. So I don't know where this person is, what they have access to. But honestly, if you made a Beyond Meat Wellington, people probably wouldn't even notice.
No. No, they wouldn't at all.
Like they wouldn't notice, right? It's wrapped in pastry. You're
Yep.
putting seasoning in there.
Gravy.
They're not going to notice, right? Exactly. Gravy, the potatoes, and
You
all
put
the
gravy on
rosemary.
anything, and it could be
Exactly.
anything under it. Basically,
Exactly.
gravy is
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
overpowering everything else. So,
Yeah. Exactly.
right.
So I think if you wanted to do something that was inoffensive to everyone, and you're almost guaranteed that the meat eaters won't have an issue, I'd go for something like a Beyond Meat sort of Wellington, because you by sight you wouldn't really tell, by taste you wouldn't tell. I think everyone would be happy.
Agreed.
And the centerpiece, apart from like pigs in blankets, even though I hate that term, the centerpiece is really the only thing that usually is non-vegan. Everything else is usually vegetables, gravy.
Right.
There is the pigs in blankets situation, but not every Christmas meal has pigs in blankets, so you can just leave those, right?
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, you can make them pretty easily.
Well, yeah, but it's when it hasn't got to the point yet where it's not obvious, right?
Really? Well,
Like you can tell if I don't know. Yeah, you can tell like if something is a vegan pigs in blankets.
well, you can just do those. What do you call it? I saw some called pigs in duvets, where you actually wrap them in pastry, and that way, then nobody will ever.
Oh
tell.
then people
That's what
wouldn't
they
tell.
call
Yeah,
it. But I hate that terminology as well. It's horrible.
yeah.
Someone's asking the question here. This is No Injustice Lasts Forever. Asking the question: is it wrong to have Dominion playing on the TV when they come over? It's only wrong if you don't also have Christmas music on it as well. No, that's incredibly dark. Obviously, it's a joke question. And for those that don't know what Dominion is a documentary full of undercover exposés of various farms in Australia, and it's largely representative of animal agriculture in the West, because it's basically all the same systems as everywhere else in the West. And it's incredible, dark, just incredibly high quality footage that shows the absolute worst that humanity has to offer. It's really sobering, really horrific. And it's a whole documentary of all of that, exposing all of these industries for exactly what they do, not what the farmers try to pretend they do, which is, the farmers will show you stuff on the internet, on YouTube, stuff like that. This is the stuff they hide. This is the reality they hide. This documentary called Dominion. So, is it wrong to have it playing on the TV when everyone comes? I mean, yeah, obviously it is wrong. Obviously that's not going to go down well on a day where everyone wants to sit around and relax and chat and stuff like that. Not going to happen, right? I know you're saying it as a joke, but something you can ask people for on a serious note is that people say, what do you want for Christmas? You can say, I don't want anything from you, or money-wise, but don't buy me anything. All I want is for you to watch this documentary in full. That's it. If you do that for me, that's my gift. That's all I want. I would recommend that. That's something I know people have used, and it's worked really well. It's got people to actually watch it. So yeah, you could give that a go. Yep. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I haven't got anything to add. Yeah, I think it would be a very bad move to have it on the day, like, what are you doing for Christmas? Oh, I'm watching the brutal massacre of sentient beings on the telly.
Yeah, probably not good.
It's just like, it's not going to work.
No, but New Year. Hey, remember my Christmas present? You promised you were going to watch it on the 3rd of January or whatever. Can you watch it? Yeah, okay, fine, I'll watch it. There you go. Easy done. Okay, I think we've already had that question. Oh, here we go. There's a question from a meat eater. Do you hate meat eaters? And it's a good question, and I think this one's an easy one to answer. Yes. No, I'm kidding. Obviously not. Obviously not. Lawrence, you can go first on this one.
Well, if I'm going to be honest, I find it hard to hate anyone, really. Like, because hate is like I dislike what certain people do. I find certain people annoying, stuff like that. But when someone uses the word hate, to me it's like a really visceral thing. Like, if you think of this person, you just like really get angry in your mind. I find that hard about like anyone. But if you're just using it in like, do you dislike these people? Then some of them, yeah. And for that reason, if they're going to be dicks about it. But no, by and large, like, no, I don't dislike people just because they're a meat eater. I see them as ignorant or, whatever. But yeah, I don't like dislike or hate people just specifically for that.
Yeah. I mean, it depends how you define hate. Like you said, I think most people define hate as the strong dislike. I think if you're defining it as an irrational power, and like a hatred's usually irrational. Let's be honest. It's very rarely based on actual um like
It,
objective
it
truth necessarily, is it? Like
yeah,
it's a very
or it
emotional,
yeah,
irrational
it
thing.
often comes from like if someone has like some sort of trauma to do with someone or something, right?
Right.
Like, but that's emotion based. Yeah, it's not
Right. So
logic.
so it's exactly. So I wouldn't use the word hate in this case, because then I'd feel like if I ever say I hate someone, then I've lost control of my emotions, and I need to calm down and
Mm,
take a breath, right? So,
yeah.
but could I say I have an extremely strong dislike for what meat eaters do, and obviously the same as what farmers do, what slaughter workers do. But like I said, hate is crossing over into a world where you're largely not very useful when you're driven by hate. You make bad
Mm,
decisions. You don't think straight when you're driven by hate, and you end up harming yourself when you're living through hatred. Right? What I want to be living more through is, okay, I strongly hate what you were doing. Right? Or I suppose that's more in this like I've kind of just like walked back what I'm saying here, but it's not. Yeah, if we're
hate
defining,
the sin, not the sinner.
if we define kind of, yeah, like hating someone or something are very different. Right? When you hate someone, I feel like you're being
Yeah.
driven by extremely negative forces that will make you make mistakes. When you hate something someone is doing, it's like you're hating, or you're feeling strongly about a certain thing that is taking place. And
Mm,
I guess it's easier to stay on track because you're not necessarily directly blaming, and you're
mm,
not going to get caught up in that kind of swept away with the emotions of that individual is need all my emotions going to that individual. It's
mm,
more, I have strong feelings about the things you're doing, and I can stay controlled and try to look for ways we can sort out and stop the things you're doing. But that doesn't necessarily mean taking you out or something dramatic like that, because that's where hatred tends
mm,
to lead, right?
mm.
Like, I hate you, so I'm going to ruin your life is where hatred tends to go, and I don't think that's
Yeah.
always. In fact, that's very rarely actually successful in achieving what you want to achieve. So
Yeah.
no. Anyway, long and short of it, no, I don't hate meat eaters. I strongly disagree with what meat eaters do, and what they pay for, and the whole industry they fund. And I mean, you can never hope to change people if you hate them. It's not going to happen,
Mm,
right? The same as those people who wanted to help change. We talked about them earlier. The people who wanted to help change white supremacists. They don't. If they went in there with hate in their hearts, trying to change somebody who also has hate in their hearts, it's not going to
mm.
work, is it?
Just gonna push them further away.
Absolutely. What actually happened is they go in there with an open mind and an open heart and say, "I know you hate me, but I don't hate you.
Mm,
I really, what you're doing is, I find what you do is hateful, but actually I want to try and convince you to come over to a different side. You've got to have an open mind for that. You can't go in with disdain for the people you're trying to change. It doesn't make sense.
yeah. 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 I agree.
It won't work. Um, all right, got a couple more left. Guys, you're gonna have to get your questions in if you've got any, because we're gonna be closing off in the next couple of questions. I've got a couple left. All right, guys. So fly some over. Send over a couple more Streamlabs tips, a couple more super chats with some questions if you want to get them in. Okay. Was 2023 the best year of veganism so far? That's by Plant Abuser. Asks that question. And I mean, that's an interesting question. I feel like every year things seem to get better in terms of product availability and
Mm,
awareness of what veganism is. Things have definitely improved in that sense, but if that's how you're defining the best year of veganism, if you're defining it as has it been good for animals, then I don't think it's been any better than any other year. If anything, it
mm.
might have even got worse despite the rise of the popularity of veganism. Unfortunately, population overall keeps growing, and
Yeah.
so there's more and more animals going through the system, unfortunately. So yeah, it just depends on how you look at it.
So for me, there's some things that have been not so great, some things that have been good, and some things that I'm looking forward to next year. So the things that have not been great, like vegan events that I've attended have not been as well attended
Right.
or as successful as they were um,
Pre-COVID.
you know, but yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Pre-COVID, I didn't know if the word was safe
Yeah,
anymore
I
or
think it is
whatever.
now. Well, I mean, we've
Okay,
said a
cool.
lot on this stream, so I mean, if that
Yeah, that's
that's
true.
probably
Yeah.
not the thing that's going to get caught. Probably about me smashing your grandma. That bit, that's the one that's going to do us.
So yeah, I think that's not great. Um but like one thing that I do think is very good is that America, and I believe somewhere else, but I forget, but America okayed lab grown meat to be
Mm,
sold and developed, which I think is a good move forward, because up till now I believe it was only in Singapore and Israel
mm,
where it was able to be sold, but now it's opened up into America. I think that's a positive step forward, and like a big positive step forward, because obviously, as we all know, America is a big cultural influence,
right.
and obviously a big economic influence as well.
Mhm.
So I think that's very positive. In terms of things I'm hopeful for the next year, which has already built up, I think Christspiracy is hopefully going to be a very big thing.
Mhm.
And that is obviously going to be something that is going to have most of its impact next year.
Mm,
You know, obviously it's had like the marketing and stuff now, but the real impact is going to be when it properly comes out.
yeah.
So I think that's something to look forward to. So yeah, I would say, you know, it's had goods, it's had bads this year. I don't know. It's sort of just like it in general. It's been like a just average year for veganism, I think.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think next year, yeah, the years coming for lab-based meat are going to be huge, for sure. I
Yeah.
agree, and also, yeah, Christspiracy is has the potential to have a huge impact on the world. Actually, guys, I'm going to be recording a little rant, a rant for Christians, and that's going to be coming out maybe in the next day or two. And yeah, I've got some things I want to say. So come and check that out. You might learn a little bit more about me, about what my take is right now when religion's concerned, and it's a little bit different to what I've said before. So come and tune in for that one.
Oh, we've had a last minute conversion.
Yeah, it's kind yeah, it's kind of I'll tell you after we're
All right.
finishing the
Okay.
stream, actually, and you can have a little heads up on it. Everybody else has to wait. All right, last question, guys. I've been asked it here by Vegan Power Lab, and not ironically, weirdly enough, coincidentally, that's the word I was looking for. It also got asked in the list of questions that we have at the same time. What do you like to eat at Christmas? Vegan Jordan and Vegan Power Lab are asking the same question. So my mum has just gone out to Asda and bought a crap ton of stuff, like vegan, all different types. They got this brand called OMV, which is Oh My Vegan, I guess.
Oh, I
And
don't know that one.
yeah, and they got loads of different stuff for Christmas. So we got a load of different, we had a variety of things for Christmas. We ordered in some, Lindt chocolates.
Yeah.
The little circles, the little
They do
balls.
vegan ones.
They've just made vegan ones. You can't get them in the UK. You need to order them. There's
Oh.
a chocolate website. It's like a chocolate UK website. I don't know. And they have them, and you can order them directly from them. So they must have bulk ordered
Right.
them from the USA, and now they're
Yep.
reselling them. They're oat milk, and they're just the same as the OG ones, and they're incredible. So they're
Oh,
really nice.
oh,
We've
sick.
had a couple of them, huh?
No, I just said oh sick. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for vegan Toblerone.
Vegan Toblerone. That is a good shout. Yeah, they haven't
Yeah,
done that
that
yet.
would be mental, but they haven't jumped on it yet.
Not yet. The soon though. So that's cool. We also so we recently, for the first time ever, well, first time in a long time at least, first time ever, tried vegan boiled eggs.
I've not had that. What's it made out?
I don't even know,
What
to
are
be
they?
honest with you, but it was pretty good. And they also, the same company does vegan fried eggs. It is called Sinless Eggs, the company Sinless Eggs.
Endless
And
eggs.
they're both pretty good, to be honest with you. I mean, the best it can be so far. I'm sure it's just going to get better. The fried ones are really funny. They come in these little pots, and you pour it out into the pan, and then it like fries like a fried egg,
Oh
which is
yeah.
fun.
Yeah. I see it.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
pretty cool. We're gonna have some of those tomorrow for breakfast again. We had them the first time we tried them. We tried them with like a Chinese dish, like a Thai dish. Sorry. So you put the egg on top, like they do in
Mm.
those dishes, and that was all right. but I've never had that before, so I don't know if that's how it was supposed to taste. But tomorrow we're
Yeah.
going to try them on toast so we can actually see if they're any good or not, you know. Because I
I've
remember
just
that.
seen they've got egg and cress.
Yeah, that's
Sort
really
of.
good.
Yeah.
The egg and cress
That
sandwich
looks
filler is
sick.
really nice.
Oh, you had it?
Yeah, we've
Oh,
got it. Yeah,
sick.
yeah, yeah.
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 That looks sick.
So that's been pretty nice. We tried that. But yeah, I'll tell you what I miss actually. Over in Finland last year, I think it was last year we did this. I don't even know if it was Christmas, but in Finland they have this thing called a sandwich cake, and they make a cake out of sandwich. So basically, on the outside, it looks like a cake, right? It actually looks like a big cake with icing and stuff on it. But when you cut into it, the icing is not icing. It's like a vegan sour cream type stuff. And the cake is not a cake. It's layered sandwiches. So it's
What sort of sandwiches?
like a vegan cheese sandwiches,
Oh, wow.
but like with
So it's savory. It's
savory. Yeah. And God, I don't know why it's so good, but it's just so good. It's like a creamy, cheesy, chivy sandwich cake.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, it is banging.
Have you had sorry? Have you had shees?
Yeah, man. That's you know what's funny, right? I'll tell you a story. She's the brand, guys. This is a brand, SHEEZE, right? And back when I was in uni, there was one shop in the whole of Manchester that had anything vegan, and they had She's. And back then, that was one of the only vegan cheeses you could get, and it was dog shit. It was terrible, right? But I used to buy it anyway. And at one point, I went to the pub. This is back when I was just a scummy student, and I went to the pub, and I was like, oh. I've never had vegan cheese before. I've got some vegan cheese. My first time ever buying vegan cheese. I pull it out, and all my mates just laughed at me. And they were like, oh, cheese, what's that? It's like cheese for scousers. Cheese? You got some cheese, lad? You know, which is really, by the way, scousers are people from Liverpool. That's how they speak. And I was really pumped about it. I went home, tried it, and I was just like, oh my God, that is ass. That is terrible. Yeah, so that
I can remember. No, I was just gonna say I can remember when I was at uni as well. That was like the main vegan cheese that people would use, at least like people I interacted with.
Well, it was bad back then when I was at uni, which was I think a long time before you.
It was all right when I was at uni.
Right.
I haven't had it in a while, but like vegan cheeses have come a long way.
Oh man, the Cathedral City one is just insane.
I still haven't had it.
Oh man, what is wrong with you? Cathedral City, by the way, guys, I'm not proud of this, but they're a cheese company, and it always feels wrong to buy vegan products from these companies. It feels wrong. It isn't wrong, of course, because this is part of the change. It's part of things getting better. It's good that they made it, but it just seems to always be the case that the companies that aren't vegan make the best vegan food, and it is so crap that this is how it works. But their cheese, I mean, Annie says she prefers Violife. To me, comparing Cathedral City to Violife has no taste compared to Cathedral City, and I guess that's a preference in. I guess most British people love cheddar, right? The strong taste of cheddar. Yeah. Cathedral City is the only cheese that has ever been able to make that in the vegan way.
What about Applewood?
Nowhere near.
Is that not?
Not even close.
Oh, really?
Not even compared to Cathedral City. It's night and day. It is It's night and day. It's kind of like the same with you buy vegan sausages from like Quorn, you buy vegan sausages from vegan brands, and then you buy vegan sausage from Richmond, and it is night and day, man. They could not be more different. The Richmond one couldn't. It's absolute perfection. There's no sausage that tastes better than that, right? And they're a meat company. So it is frustrating, but it's a sign of good times coming, obviously, that they can do this. But of course, it is frustrating that you are buying them from a company that you don't necessarily
They just have the budgets, right? Like, they're just such big companies. Like, companies like Richmond, companies like Cathedral City, like, they have massive budgets.
Right, probably. Probably they have a big budget. Probably also they just... I mean, put it this way. Who has more of a chance of making something that tastes like cheese or sausages? A vegan company or a cheese or meat company?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
true. They're also gonna have connections.
they know what it's they know exactly what the tastes are, and they know how to, you know, imitate it. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Someone's put in the comments, John said in the comments, the this sausages are decent. That's true. They are really good. They're up there
Yeah,
as well.
actually, they're good, yeah.
Yeah, they're up there as well.
Yeah, they're very good.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, the best vegan food I've had has come from places that have vegan options, not vegan restaurants, unfortunately. And I think this is no shade on vegan restaurants. I just think that a lot of vegan restaurants get started because people are vegan first and they want to build a restaurant versus being chefs first
Yeah.
and then want to build a restaurant. I think that's something.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'll answer this question from Vegan Power Lab, actually. It says, are we going to see a comedy set online, by the way? Don't know if you already mentioned it, but I'd like to see it since I couldn't come to the UK. Yes. So I think I've decided, I did mention it earlier, but I'll just mention it again. I think I decided to post it on the second channel, The Ram's Den. However, it comes with a big caveat, guys, in that I say at the beginning of the video as well, at the beginning of the set, that you guys know me for my vegan work, you know me for my vegan content, and you know that here I'm very serious about this, and you know, we have fun sometimes, but of course, you know, this is my life, right? This is what I'm trying to do with my life, and I appreciate all of your support. Now, if you feel that you would, let's say, if I said something that upset you, not related to veganism, if you feel that that would cause you to feel bad, no longer support me, or see me in a different light and not like me anymore or something like that, I don't recommend you go to the second channel, because the second channel is mostly about stuff not related to veganism. And this comedy set is absolutely that. It has vegan jokes in it, but a big disclaimer here, there's a lot of content in this comedy set that might really, really piss you off, okay? Even though they're just jokes. I can't predict what you guys are into, so all I'm going to tell you is don't go into my comedy video expecting that I'm going to keep it super family friendly and make everyone happy, right? That's not my type of comedy. That doesn't make me laugh. What makes me laugh is extreme controversy, okay? So that's what my comedy set is. It has a lot of extremely controversial stuff in it. So I'm giving you the disclaimer because, hey, I'm just warning you to not bother watching it if you think that is not your vibe, okay? If it's not your vibe, controversial comedy is not your thing, don't go watch it. Because I don't want you being upset with me, all right, guys? I want to be together as a big vegan family. You support me. I do my animal rights work. The comedy stuff is something I do occasionally. It's a hobby. So, big disclaimer. You think that's fair enough, Lawrence? Is a good way of explaining it, maybe?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know what much more you could do.
I mean, I'm trying to be honest about it. You know what I mean? I just, yeah, I feel like people deserve the truth like that. Just like a straight, you know, listen, if that's not your kind of comedy, don't go there, right? But we'll see anyway, man. We'll see how it goes down. I'm sure it's gonna cause some problems, but I got to be true to myself. That's the shit that's the kind of thing I find funny. So it is what it is. We'll put it out there. We'll see what happens. Lawrence, do you want to say something else, man? I think we're about to wrap up. Anything you want to go over?
Well, just in answer to the question, I would rep
Oh shit!
Honestly Tasty.
I just how long did that go on for before I didn't even realize you had answered the question? I thought we kind of went over. My bad, dude. Lawrence, what would you eat at Christmas? What do you eat at Christmas, man?
The only specific thing that I eat at Christmas that I would never eat, well, not that I would never eat it, but like that I just don't eat any other time of year is we order like good quality vegan cheeses. And
nice.
usually we get most of them from this brand called Honestly Tasty, who are really good.
Honestly
I highly
Tasty?
rate them. Yeah, Honestly Tasty. If you like blue cheese, their blue cheese is banging.
Okay, nice. Is it?
I forget.
Is it like are they fermenting it and stuff?
To be honest, I don't know how they do it, but there's mold in it. Yeah, so I don't know if that is
banging.
like,
yeah, bit of mold.
Yeah.
No, I know that the fermented cheeses, people do fermented cashew cheese, and some of that is phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I used to have this stuff in Barcelona, back when I lived there, because I lived in Barcelona, and we had this like, it was like 20 euros per, like, for not even a big bit of cheese, and sometimes we'd all chip in just to have like a couple slices each because it was just so good.
Tragic.
So good. I mean, it's a lot of money, right? But you know, between
Yeah,
a couple
yeah.
people, it's worth it, right? Or sometimes one
Yeah,
person
yeah.
would buy it and bring it to a group dinner, and you'd be like, "Oh my god,
What a
you are
legend.
amazing! This is the best thing ever." Yeah, man. So what was it called again? Sorry, tell me again. Your one.
Honestly tasty. I
Honestly
can send
tasty.
you a link
Yeah, please do.
afterwards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Honestly tasty, sweet. Yeah, I'll look into that. See if I don't think we can get any before Christmas now, but
Yeah, I think they probably have sold out by
all
now.
right, sweet. I'll check it for after anyway. It's all good. All right, sweet guys. If you like content about why not to have children, go and subscribe to Lawrence. He doesn't do vegan content, but he does sometimes. You do sometimes touch on veganism and link. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But mostly it's about why not to have babies. So if that's your vibe, go and check out Lawrence's channel. It's Lawrence Anton. And there's actually a debate me and him had on that topic. If you're interested, go check it out. Of course, I've already mentioned, if you're interested in our opinions and stuff on different topics and you're not easily offended, head over to my second channel, The Ram's Den. If you are easily offended, don't go there. All right, you're not going to have a nice time. But if you're not easily offended, go and have a nice time and hang out and you know, get in the comments. Let us know what you think. Thank you, Lawrence, for coming on here and doing this. It's been it's definitely been a lot of fun, and I hope we've helped a lot of people today.
No, thanks for having me, and thanks everyone for the questions.
Oh, we got a last minute. We got a last minute.
Oh, someone got
a last
in there.
minute from Kane. CDA activism just tipped. Nice catch, man. You got us just at the end. Remember the sausage expert who was tricked into believing he was eating a flesh sausage, liked it, found out it was vegan, then proceeded not to like it? Do that. As an antinatalist, is it okay to celebrate someone's birth? Thoughts on dating non-vegans? He's just spamming questions. All right, 1 minute.
Yeah, is there like 3 questions
Yeah.
in there?
So, okay, we remember the sausage guy. Yes. He wants us to do
Yeah, I
that.
remember
Right.
him.
That's a good idea. So at Christmas, do that. Go, yeah, one of these is vegan, one of these isn't. That's a
Right.
good idea. And then they were actually
Okay,
both vegan.
Yeah. Okay, so if anyone is thinking of doing that, I would use the This Isn't brand or Richmond's. I think they're probably the
Oh,
two
yeah,
that
for sure. Yeah.
would work. Yeah.
And
And then what was the
as an antinatalist, is it okay to celebrate someone's birth?
someone what is in like a birthday or going to the like a birth celebration? Well, I'll do both.
Probably
Yeah,
both, yeah.
birthdays. I mean, like whatever. It's just someone's birthday, right? Like it's it's just like celebrate
Hypocrite.
it. Huh?
I said hypocrite.
Protest it.
Hypocrite. I said hypocrite.
If so.
Oh,
if
he's on about
someone-
Christmas. He's on about Christmas because you're celebrating Jesus's birth.
Oh, yeah. Like, well,
He's got
yeah,
you there,
I mean,
man.
Yeah, I mean, like, no one's actually celebrating Christmas for proper religious reasons, right? At least not in this country. Like, okay, maybe a few hardcore Christians, but most people, it's just like screwing around.
Yeah, whatever, mate. He's got you. He's got you. He's got you nailed to the wall or crossed, depending on how you're.
Yeah.
All right. Thoughts on dating non-vegans? I actually talk about this in my comedy thing I just did my comedy set, and I'll say now what I said then. Look, I don't think there's anything wrong with dating non-vegans. I'm a big believer in charity work and doing good for those in need and those who are not quite as bright as you. So I think if you want to do that, dating non-vegans, I draw the line at sleeping with them. I think that maybe is taking it a bit too far, but yeah, I mean, I did my bit today. I brought Lawrence on the stream. See, I'm doing my bit for charity. You know what's funny is that this is literally a bit that I already did. It's a joke that I made in the comedy set, which is why I'm doing it again now. But anyway, no, serious thing here. We live in a non-vegan world. If you choose to date a non-vegan, it's your call. I couldn't really care less. It's up to you. But of course, it's not recommended necessarily. It's not like it's highly unlikely to work out. You're not going to marry them if they don't agree with you on such a core thing. So it might be a waste of time, but that's your waste of time, right? It's up to you what you want to do.
Yeah, and I would just say, like, yeah, personally, I wouldn't do it, but I'm not going to hold it against someone if they do it. I just think it's probably not going to work long time, especially if you're thinking of having kids. Like, whether you raise them vegan or not, that's going to be like a massive issue.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. But thank you, Kane. Last minute there. Well done, mate. You did a good job. Thanks again, Lawrence. Guys, have a wonderful Christmas. I will see you before then in the next video I'm going to put out Christians, aimed at Christians. So please stick around for that. Give it all the engagement and all the love. I really want this one to get out to the Christians. But this is the last time I'll see you live. So hey, have a lovely Christmas, guys. Have a lovely just after Christmas, before the new year, we're gonna do our meat flakes of the year. Get ready for that. But yes, once again, have a lovely Christmas, happy holidays, Kwanzaa, whatever the hell you're celebrating. Okay, have a good one, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Just like, that was so special, man.
Have you finished?